ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
We're learning more about the large cache of illegal guns the husband of missing Chula Vista mother Maya Miliete is accused of having. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Larry Miliete was issued a gun violence restraining order just days before Chula Vista police searched his home last Friday. As our ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty explains, a photo had law enforcement worried about the Miliete children's access to the guns.
Investigators are not saying what they took from the home of Larry Miliete's Friday night, but newly obtained documents show he owned a cache of weapons. The order says there are 2 photos of Miliete's kitchen table that show a cache of 16 firearms, 4 U.S. passports, a government ID, several high-capacity magazines, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. The cache of firearms included 2 short-barreled AR-15 illegal assault weapon platforms, 5 additional AR-15s, 3 pump shotguns, 1 bolt-action rifle with scope, and 5 semi-automatic handguns. One of the photos depicted the Miliete's 4-year-old son standing on the table surrounded by the legal and illegal cache of weapons. The order states the child had immediate access to the weapons, creating a potential extreme danger. Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
So where are things likely to go from here? Our Team 10 investigator Melissa Masiha spoke to experts about the next step in this 4-month-long investigation.
That gun violence restraining order is a temporary one. A longtime detective also wants to remind the community it's a civil order, not a criminal one. And while we are all desperate for answers, he said the process in a case like this takes time. We broke the news over the weekend, a temporary gun violence restraining order which reveals the numerous weapons police say Larry Miliete owned. The order prevents him from owning or buying any more guns. San Diego PD filed the paperwork on May 5th. The written declaration showed a number of guns missing. Only 2 of the total 20 firearms have been accounted for by law enforcement. Of the guns police do have, forensic criminologist and retired detective Dr. Martinelli said there isn't much they can do with them at this point.
With the gun violence restraining order, they can take the weapons. They just can't test the weapons. In order to test the weapons, again, they have to have a nexus. They have to have some sort of connection between a weapon or weapons and a murder, which they haven't been able to establish yet.
Search warrants have been issued for the Miliete home. It's unclear what was taken from the house. Larry Miliete told officers he knew they were coming for his firearms, and he gave multiple firearms to his friends. He won't say who or where they are, leaving more questions in an emotional and difficult time for Maya's loved ones.
Everybody wants closure and they want justice, but these things do take time.
The documents also said Larry had illegal assault weapons and unregistered firearms. That could get him in more trouble.
He could be charged as a felony. In and of itself, the possession of the firearms unregistered to him, probably unless it's alleged or accused or used in the commission of an offense, probably looking at more of a misdemeanor charge.
Attorney David Shapiro, not involved in the case, said police can't force him to share where the weapons are, but could get a search warrant for his communications. The court could compel him to show they were surrendered, destroyed, or legally transferred. The bigger focus, he said, is unraveling the 4-month mystery of what happened to Maya Miliete. I'm Melissa Masiha, Team 10.
A hearing is scheduled for June 22nd. On that date, the gun violence restraining order will either be expired or extended. And we have a complete timeline of the events following Maya's disappearance in the articles on this story on 10news.com.
You could soon be getting another stimulus payment, this time from the Golden State. Today, Governor Newsom announced a plan to send money to roughly 2/3 of California taxpayers. Under the plan, individuals and households making between $30,000 and $75,000 annually would get a $600 payment. And all households making up to $75,000 with at least 1 child, including immigrants who file taxes, would get an additional $500 payment.
That tax rebate will impact just shy of 80% of all tax filers will get a direct stimulus check, will get a direct relief payment because of this announcement.
Newsom, who is likely facing a recall election, says California can pay for his plan with a $75 billion budget surplus. The state legislature must approve the governor's proposal.
Turning now to coronavirus, the days of eating on streets and sidewalks in San Diego, they could be numbered. During the pandemic, the city did allow restaurants and businesses to expand outside through temporary permits. But on June 15th, the governor plans to lift social distancing restrictions, and that would set off a chain of events requiring businesses to end their temporary outdoor operations.
We definitely would be very upset about that. I mean, I think, like I said, not just because of the fact that we're losing spaces for our customers, but also because of the fact that it adds an attractiveness to the restaurant and to the area.
But the city may step in. Mayor Todd Gloria's office says he plans to propose extending the temporary permits for a year before bringing a permanent ordinance to the city council this fall.
The vaccine superstation on the campus of UC San Diego will be closing next month. The site opened in February inside the REMAC Arena with capability of administering up to 5,000 vaccinations a day. It's now offering vaccines to all UC San Diego students, faculty, and staff. No appointment necessary. The site will officially close June 1st. And the county reported another 233 cases today, while our test positivity rate rose to 4%. No new deaths are being reported, which is typical for a Monday, so that number remains at just over 3,700.
There is relief tonight after a judge blocked a sexually violent predator from being put into the East County. People from the Mount Helix, where they rallied today while the court met over Zoom. Judge Albert Hartunian blocked the placement, that is, of Merle Wakefield, saying there were too many people living nearby, including children. A different judge will now decide whether to place sexual predator Douglas Badger in that very same home. Residents say they will fight that one too.
We've just been tortured through this whole thing. So I'd plead with him to make his decision quickly and swiftly, and obviously I would like for him to look at the judge's decision today. You know, that was the right decision. These men don't belong in a neighborhood full of people and full of children.
No word yet when the judge will make a decision on Badger. And 2 men will stand trial for the murder of a security guard outside the Alpha Project homeless shelter in the East Village. Ernest Buchanan was killed in December of 2019 while returning from a break. Police later arrested Floyd Garrett and Johnny Hill. Prosecutors say that they killed Buchanan to promote the gang they're in, although it's not clear why Buchanan specifically was targeted.
Scripps Health still won't say whether a malware attack 10 days ago compromised patient records. This week, we are going in depth on the attack impacting hundreds of thousands of San Diegans. Tonight, a cybersecurity expert tells ABC 10 News investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner how patient safety could be threatened.
Monday, growing concerns about just how much damage was done to Scripps Health after a malware attack disrupted its system a week and a half ago.
All this consternation about records is a little bit misplaced. Knocking down infrastructure that results in impacts like loss of life, that's a much bigger deal.
Expert Mike Hamilton with CI Security is the former head of cybersecurity for the city of Seattle. He told ABC 10 News that if patient records were breached, the impact could be devastating. Monday, a hospital spokesperson would not answer any questions related to the attack and referred us to last week's statement, explaining in part that it has a team working around the clock to fix the issue. But as of now, there is no definite date or time for when the system could be back online. Scripps Health has not said whether patient records were stolen. Hamilton said if such records are stolen from any hospital, the integrity of that information can be manipulated to extort or terrorize.
Something that said, I'm allergic to penicillin, don't give me penicillin, it'll kill me. If that gets changed, all of a sudden people can die from, wrong information in health records. And this has always been kind of in the back of everybody's mind what we're worried about.
He said patients will need to make sure their providers have updated, accurate health information. Beyond that, there's limited resources for credit concerns.
Just the thing that happens all the time. Hey, here's another letter that says they're going to monitor my credit for free and I should take precautions and freeze my credit and credit watch and fraud watch and stuff like that. That is all that can be done.
The Scripps outage has prevented patients from accessing their online profiles, but the hospital has said it's still able to deliver care at its facilities using backup processes, and that its urgent cares, emergency departments, and Health Express locations remain open. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
UC San Diego's first female chancellor has died. The university announced today that Mary Ann Fox passed away yesterday. Fox was an internationally renowned chemist who served as chancellor at North Carolina State before coming to San Diego. She served as UCSD's chancellor from 2004 to 2012. Mary Ann Fox was 73.